to do is preheat the oven and get our pans ready. So you want to make sure that you line your pans up so your pans are the same. Okay, as you can see, you can get 4 cake pans on a piece of parchment paper. So you can share a piece of parchment paper with the person who's next to you, right? Because you can get 4 cakes on here. This is exactly the bottom, and so for the parchment paper to work, we have to cut inside the line. And the best to do is to cut about 1/4 of, maybe 1/8 of an inch inside of the line that you drew. After you get them cut, then you're going to grease them with shortening. Okay, then you're going to put a little shortening on your paper towel and grease your pan. You're greasing the bottom and the sides, okay? Okay, and then you've already tested, so you know it fits, so you're going to put your paper in here. And your paper should be perfectly flat on the bottom. It shouldn't have any wrinkles on it. It should be perfectly flat on the bottom. Sift the dry ingredients into the mixing bowl. How would you do that? What would you put on top of the mixing bowl? You'd put one of the strainers on top of the mixing bowl, so everything could go through the strainer. So what would you need on your mixing box list? A strainer, okay? Okay, so we've got flour, sugar, cocoa, baking soda, and salt. Make sure you use baking soda. Make sure you use the right one. And then you're going to put your paddle in there and you're just going to mix those together. Okay, your wet ingredients. We are using buttermilk and we're using cold coffee. Now, the reason this recipe has coffee in it is because coffee makes the flavor of the chocolate come out more. Coffee and chocolate work together. How many of you eat in the chocolate cake here? How many of you tasted coffee? Can't taste the coffee. Can't taste the coffee, it just helps it be more chocolatey. So, your recipe says that you're going to add the liquid ingredients, mix them together in a 1-quart measuring cup. Right, so in your quart measuring cup, I've already got the buttermilk. We're going to add the cup of cold coffee, okay? And we're going to add the oil. Make sure you mix up your egg a little bit. I don't know that it exactly says that, but it doesn't say the egg needs to be, but it should be. Okay, and then you're going to put your vanilla in there. So you need the fork. And the reason that this recipe uses baking soda instead of using baking powder is because of the buttermilk. The buttermilk is acidic, the soda is a basic. They react with each other, and that's what makes the cake rise. Okay? Okay, you can leave this going, and now we're going to do this. Okay? Make sure it's not on too high, because if your mixer is on more than one, what do you think is going to happen when you put this in? That's exactly correct. You're going to have some disaster going on. Because the other thing with this kind of cake, remember, what's making the reaction for it to bake? The baking soda and the buttermilk. Okay, when you work with baking soda, you have that one reaction going on, right? When you work with baking powder, there's a water reaction and a heat reaction. If you spend a half an hour trying to get your pans right with this cake, it won't rise. Okay, you will have missed the window. You understand what I mean? So we're just going to get it mixed and in the oven, and we're not going to worry about getting your pans perfectly even. Okay, the next time you bake cake, we'll do that, but not the first time. Okay? You don't want there to be any lumps in it, so you're probably going to want to go up to 4 for just a second. You see where my hands are? That's because I really didn't want chocolate all over me. Okay? I don't think any's coming out anyway, but you might do that just in case your mixer goes a little faster than 4. Do not put your mixer on faster than 4. Okay? Otherwise you will have whatever all over the kitchen. Okay. This cake batter seems sort of runny compared to a box cake. How many of you have ever made a chocolate cake from scratch? Okay. And you know it bakes up fine because you eat. Don't eat. Okay. So, when you're doing the eyeball method of filling up your pans, you want to put some in the first pan. Okay. And then you want to stop and put some in the second pan. Okay? So that you can get an idea of, okay, I got more to go back to the first pan. baking for about 35 minutes. Let's see if they're done. Okay, we're going to test them by, and did you see it bounce back? Let's do that one more time. Bounce back. That means they're done. Also, you can see that they're beginning to pull away from the edge of the pan. And so we know they're done when they're pulling away from the edge of the pan. I'm going to take them out of the oven, and then we're going to put each cake on a cooling rack, and we're going to let it sit for 10 minutes, and then in 10 minutes we're going to take them out of the pans, and we'll be back. Okay. We're going to run a knife around the edge of the pan to make sure that the cake is not sticky. Even though we greased the pan, cake might be sticking a little bit. Now we're going to put another cooling rack on top of the pan, and we're going to turn the whole thing over, and then we're going to pop up the side. And now we need to take our paper off. We're going to peel off our paper. Peel off our paper. We want to keep a good edge. So we have to be really careful when we peel off our paper so that we have a good edge so that when we go to frost it, we don't have any problems with the frosting of it. Now we have the paper off. We're going to put the cooling rack on top. We're going to flip it back over again because we want it to cool with the flat side flat.